include everything that Crunchyroll considers season 2. So everything as far as the starting off with Gojo and the Gato backstory, in with all the Tengen stuff, and then the where it jumps up all the way to the very end. The fights, and I also did, just so this is obviously going to be on YouTube, I did read the manga. It's one of the few that I've read the entire Shibuya incident and everything like that before I watch it. Surprisingly, I've never done that with anything. So the fight, definitely, obviously, when you start off, that whole, the first beginning kind of flashback arc, those were dope. I don't think it was anything super, super crazy that I'm remembering. It was a little bit ago when I watched those. I basically just kind of binged Shibuya arc and like the ending. They were good. Nothing really crazy that I remember. But I would probably have to say, oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Fights in the beginning were probably like a 7.5, like 8, probably, I would say, around that. But then obviously once you get into the Shibuya incident, man, and you get into all the Sukuna stuff, you get into finding out who Gato actually is. Good lord, I mean, there were so many fights in the Shibuya arc. Like, where do you even kind of like start? I would probably have to say, overall, I it's, by the way, I'm hardly probably ever going to give something a 10 out of 10. But I definitely will give JJK fights for the show a 9.5. For almost like an entire season, like they were 9.5. Season 1, I liked JJK, and obviously Demon Slayer was kind of coming out at the same time, so I overplayed JJK a lot in my head because I'm not a super big Demon Slayer fan. And I saw what JJK was doing. I was like 100%, like I'm way more in on this than I am on and Demon Slayer. But then I kind of, like, as I reread it and I did rewatch some of season 1, I was like, you know what, like it was good. It was a very good foundational start, but nothing really like blew me away. Obviously the Gojo fight and the Todo and Itadori fight in season 1, that was great. But nothing really like blew me away. Like, I'd have probably gave the fights overall for an entire like season worth of fights, I'd have probably gave it like an 8. Just because a lot of the fights I didn't really care about, but obviously the big ones that were in there, they hit. Like, there was no debating that. So I think 9.5 for all of the fights combined in the season, because you gotta remember, like, I'm talking all in the season together. Not every fight's a 10 out of 10. None are ever gonna be. Like, that's ridiculous to think every fight's gonna be a 10 out of 10. So I'd give overall fights for the entire arc 9.5, and that's a crazy high rating, so I don't want to hear any slander for this. Story. I'm pretty critical on story, man. Like, fights are easy in my opinion, and I know obviously I'm not talking from an animation perspective of doing it, but fights are, you know, throw flashy colors, throw some super fast and then super slow scenes, and like people are locked in. Some crazy transitions, different POVs. People eat that up. Fights are probably the easiest thing to do for the anime, I would assume, to keep an audience. But story gets a little tough. If I had to think about it, I mean, the whole stuff with Gato. Some people go Gato, and honestly, I switch back and forth between them. Man, starting with the flashback stuff, like that was really good. I don't think it was anything that warrants like a super high rating. Like the flashback arcs were definitely like an 8, like 7.8, 7.9, 8, something like that. But towards the end, man, I've really liked what they did with the story. Like with Nabara, basically, like, she's technically not confirmed dead, but we all kind of assume that she's probably dead. I have a feeling she'll be back. Like, it's battle shown in anime, man. I can't imagine that she's actually perma-dead. That would be fucking crazy. I wouldn't hate it, but don't bro me, man. Don't bro me. We all saw that guy that said there's not a 0% chance that I can't save her, but don't get your hopes up. But it's not zero, Itadori. Like, they literally hinted perfectly at that she might still be alive. Um, don't get me wrong. I think it would be amazing writing if she was dead. Then I'm gonna hold out hope that Nanami is coming back. That's fair. I hope not, man. And from my perspective, it's not that I didn't like Nanami or Nobara. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I want them to stay dead. I want them to stay dead. Well, yeah, his top hat. I guess I don't think Nanami's I don't think he's got a chance, right? I want these characters to stay dead because I feel like when does a show, and I'm talking mainstream show, not obviously like super hardcore animes, but when does a show really take powerful characters that were introduced early on and kill them in the beginning and like actually stand on that? So I love that. I think that would be awesome. What's crazy is like when it came to the team dynamic of Fushiguro, Itadori, and Nabara outside of Gojo, like I didn't get like the same Team 7 vibe that I got in Naruto, right? Or shit, even the new gen Team 7 that I get reading Boruto early on, like I didn't get any vibe like that at all, you know what I mean? It just seemed like these were three characters with kind of they're truly their own trees. It almost seems like the story for these characters, right? Like if you have Itadori, we'll put N for Nabara, and then F for Fushiguro. Like it seems like they all literally are having stories that are kind of going to be like here, like they're going to all go their like own way. And then it seemed like they'll eventually all link up to kind of like one point. While as in like Naruto, you kind of felt like everybody was on the same thing the entire time, except Sasuke because he left the village, but what the fuck's he doing? Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like the way that they had it was different, and I like it. But the way that they kind of still gave you that, the team feeling in some of the flashbacks that Itadori had when Nobara got her fucking head pushed in, that was great. So this is actually tough because I feel like if I give it anything lower than like a 9, people are gonna sit here and hate. But like, I don't think people understand how good a 9 is, man. Like a 9 is that's a very, 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 very good story, man. Like I don't want to give it a 9, but I'm not saying that it's not very good. For a battle shonen, the story that it has, I think I'm going to go 8.6 just to be just to say something there. Because a 9, and I'm just gonna give you I don't want influence, so I'll just give you mine. You say yeah. So I'm gonna explain here. Like an 8.6 is, that's very good. And to give you guys perspective, I say that Demon Slayer's story, like if I were to, I'm just gonna compare it to Demon Slayer a lot because that's the new gen that I can kind of compare it to. I don't really watch MHA and all that stuff. So 5. Yeah, like I give Demon Slayer story like a 5 or a 6. So an 8.6, like that's really high up there. Blake's down for Overwatch 2. All right, I probably won't be starting in 30 minutes like I was planning, but I'm playing Overwatch tonight for sure. Like I swear. I'm gonna give it an 8.6. I think that's fair. And I think it's good. Character development for like oh man. Itadori had some character development that I was very, very excited to see. Obviously, you don't really get a lot of his character development in the beginning because you spend so much time on the Gojo character development, which is weird. We're taking an entire, you know, maybe not a quarter of a season. I forget exactly how many episodes it was, right? but you're focusing not on the main character, and that's where you're spending your development. I was like, weird. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. But once Shibuya Incident came into play, man, like, they really stepped it up on Itadori. I think they stepped it up on Fushiguro. And I'm not knocking on season 1 when I say stepped it up, but like they really dove into the substance of these characters, man. Obviously they hit Gojo, Gato, all like these kind of higher ups in the background that we see. So that being said, character development, man, I really like what they did with Itadori. I really do. Man, when he sees her get her shit, you know, pushed in, when Nanami gets blown in half, like he sees, and like just the breakdown that he has, and when Sukuna took over, and like he basically knows that like it wasn't him, obviously that was in control, but like he just killed so many people, like it was so brutal. I think especially because given the character development that was from season 1, like I'm gonna hit this with, I just don't want to say 9, so I'm gonna go like 9.1, because a 9 just feels like not enough, but 9.2 feels a little too extreme. So I'm gonna do that because it was really good. It was really good. I did really enjoy all of it. So I mean, and again, people were gonna be like, oh, what? Like, here's an example. I had a friend text me today, and I was like, oh, I'm at the Itadori and Mahito fight. And again, he knows I read the manga, so it's like you can say whatever you want. Like I knew what was coming. And he was like, oh, bro, it's a 10 out of 10 fight, and I was like, I don't like, even just from reading the manga, like I don't see how this could possibly be a 10 out of 10 fight. And again, it's no disrespect on the fight, but I'm like, dude, like a 10 out of 10 fight is like, I don't even put like pain fight on I don't know if I've ever really put a fight, and this is gonna be me personally, right? Because I grew up Dragon Ball, so maybe Goku Jiren Final Showdown's a 10 out of 10 for me because I'm just such a big Dragon Ball fan. But like objectively talking about battle shown in anime, I'd let you guys decide if you think that's a 10 out of 10. Like I could give it legitimate arguments, but I'm not gonna. Maybe another video. These are very high ratings, so I just want to make it very clear, like I loved season 2. Oh shit, we kind of need like we're gonna damn, that says or overall, out of 10 for everything. I definitely, this is my first review, so it's kind of tough. Like when I did, like if I did an Attack on Titan review before, like my ratings would be skewed. Like this is literally my first review where I really sat down and like deep dove into everything. From an anime perspective, man, definitely overall season, I think I got a vibe with like a nice 9.3. You know what I mean? Like a nice 9.3. That was a for season 2, like it was very well put together. From the Gojo backstory throughout the entire Shibuya incident. I hate saying, like, I feel like all we talk about is Shibuya incident, but that was literally like almost the entire season. And the way they ended, man, like a lot of times I'm just gonna put Tokyo Revengers here. I know this isn't like, it's considered like a battle shonen, but like it's not. It's just a shonen to me. I don't consider it like a battle, right? Every time a season of Tokyo Revengers ends, I sit there and I'm like, dude, that was so fucking good. But how are you gonna do that again? You know what I mean? Like how is that gonna happen? And then they come back and I'm like, damn, there it is. You know what I mean? I haven't seen this latest season. I need to catch up on it. But like season 2 was so good, and they left me just easy ready for season 3. Like not a doubt in my mind. I want to do what I did with JJK with this last season going into like next season as well. I want to read the manga and then go with it. I'm not going to do that with every anime because I'm going to be honest, I don't got time to read all that manga and watch all the anime. I'm already on like chapter 160 something in JJK, so it's like at this point, like I'm invested. I want to just do that every time. I am reading other ones just kind of in the background. But yeah, 9.3 out of 10. I just want to see what kind of like critics are saying. Like, what do people think? Cool fight scenes can't make up for meandering story. Um, Finally ended. Nonstop action, shocking deaths, huge changes. I'm not gonna read like this entire thing because this is gonna get boring. Of course, yep, I totally agree here. Animated beautifully, visual brilliance. The arc ends up being nonsensical fight after nonsensical fight without much emotion in the storytelling. And you know what? This I can understand. And so when I hear like, oh, like, you know, a fight's a 10 out of 10, part of what makes a fight a 10 out of 10 for me is the like the deepness of it. The like why the characters, why what they're doing is so important. I'm trying to give an example, right? Like the Cell Saga in DBZ, for example. And again, just another one I've seen, so I'm going to use that as an example. Like when Goku fucking died and whatnot, we were all like, dude, I hope Gohan can clutch this up. But they're like, that made that so much more powerful because it's like Goku's dead. Gohan's all that's left. Unfortunately, like Vegeta would have got folded because he didn't have SS2 yet. So it's like, it was so impactful in that moment. And it was so great to see Gohan like clutch that up. Like that's what makes those fights. I wouldn't even put that fight at 10 out of 10, but like just the meaningness behind it for sure. First half of the season it came into the devastating character drama that deepened the world and the lore and made it. Yep, exactly, for sure. The Shibuya incident unfortunately seems to be a misunderstanding that it wasn't action alone, but some Jujutsu Kaisen's parts made this show great. Problem with the awkward chronologically, the arcs has been 4 years since we last saw Itadori and his friends. The moment we reunite with them, they're separated with dozens of teams. Yeah, so I'll hear this part for sure. I definitely remember thinking kind of the same thing. Like I was like, this is odd, right? Like we usually have all the character development of them building together in the beginning. But I was totally okay with it. I think they made up for it. You know what I mean? I get this feeling in the beginning, but looking at it objectively now from the end, I would just have to disagree. Best fight of JJK Season 2 Part 2, Sukuna vs. Gojo. Sukuna. I probably got to go Sukuna Jogo, man. I love that. With so much combat and so little breathing room, the action becomes a slog. There were definitely, you know, some fights here and there that I was just like, meh, like I don't really care about, but I think that's gonna happen with every anime. So let's just see what their verdict is here, because this is honestly what I want to see. Shibuya Arc Incident sees JJK as this most action-packed and relentless bombardment of fight scenes end up doing the characters' pacing and story a disservice. Oh yeah, I would have to disagree. If it's spectacle you seek, look no further than these episodes. If you want action to service the plot and characters rather than the way around, the arcs leaves a lot to be desired. So, like, here's the thing. You need to know what you're watching. Yo, anyone that like if anybody hates on what I rated it, man, I want you guys to look at this. But like, they gave this joint a 6. A 6, dude. That is crazy. That's insane. That's who, and this is IGN, bro. That's nuts. Here's the thing. If you're gonna watch JJK, any normal, when I say normal, I'm talking like, I'm not even talking like seasoned vet anime watcher, but like any normal anime watcher, you know what you're getting when you watch a battle shonen, right? You're not going to be getting as much of the story like deep story that you get in something you know, like thriller anime. It's like a Death Note, something like that. Like think about that. You're not going to get that kind of stuff. It's meant to be a lot of fighting with then the significance growing all the way until the very end. So there's not as many like peaks or there's a lot more like, there's not as many peaks and valleys, I guess you could say, with like the plot as compared to like an actual like a thriller with significance behind like the big kind of climaxing arcs, but I kind of knew that. Like I expect what I got out of JJK. I think when we're comparing it to battle shonens, it was done really well. You know what I mean? They didn't want there to be fights. I feel like there could have been more fight. I honestly, I don't want to meat ride them here, but I think they did a really good balance of fights and story for a battle shonen. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. Like, you could always do more fights, and it, you know, listen. I think they could have went all out and added way more fights. They could have done more with, like, and I know what everybody wants, right? Like, we all want more Sukuna. Like, we only got him for like 2 episodes. Like, we want a full season of Sukuna just ripping everybody apart. It's a district under attack. What do they want? Yeah, exactly. So, and then I'll just check out one more, Rotten Tomatoes. This one you can actually just like see people's oh, there's actually not that many. There's only 4. Oh wait, did they write a yeesh? Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna read all those. JJK season 2 is much better than the first, a true audio visual extravaganza and probably the best shonen series of the year. This was technically this came out last year, right? No, that's right. So it did still get wrapped up yeah, it looks like it finished last year. I don't know. It's so early in 2024. I won't say like best shonen series of the year because Lord knows what'll come out. But yeah, man, I'm with it. I think it sounded great, looked great. Story came in a lot clutch, a lot more clutch than I was expecting. True. Yeah, I don't know. And a lot of people get mad when they say like that it's better than season 1. And man, it's not that there's a knock on, you know, season 1 of you know, there's no knock on season 1. You know what I mean? Like season 1, they wanted to let you know what was up with the fights. Original score 7 though. Damn. JJK season 2 delivers far more moments of brilliance and shortfalls. The characters are at their best here. I agree with that. Change in director brings a more cinematic look and focus shot on composition. I did not even know that they changed the director. It makes sense though. This season definitely felt a lot. That's crazy. It felt like a whole different show watching it. I'm gonna be honest. Which makes this one of the best looking anime of the season. I agree. Thanks to this creepypasta urban tone, Jujutsu Kaisen conserves its horror status in the tense moments while successfully balancing its sense of humor. True. Okay, I was wondering why this. So Spanish little translation stuff. I 100% agree, man. Like it did a good job of some of those like just really like dark moments and keeping them balanced though still with the sense of humor, with obviously the fighting. Like I don't know, JJK just feels like one of those shows that is like a mix of so many things. While you look at it, like when I watch Black Clover, all I think is Naruto. Like I literally look at Black Clover and I'm just like Naruto. And I know that's so mainstream to say and everyone's like, oh, it's just a copy of it. I don't literally mean a copy, but just so many similarities. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't think I think my rating is definitely fair. And I think you guys can 100% trust me talking about anime than IGN. You know what I mean? I think we can all agree that, you know, sometimes, oh, I didn't know IGN had a bunch of comments. We'll do that for the next one. Because they probably tore them apart. We can definitely trust me more. Exactly. All right, yeah, so the people get it in the comments, man. This guy is definitely just in the minority. I don't think people agree with this, but JJK season 2 9.3. If I had to give an entire rating of the show right now, overall, out of all of the new gen with season 1 and 2 and, you know, what that will lead to, the cliffhanger that left me off of, man, like it's probably at like a 9 overall. It's probably at a 9 overall for me as an entire series. Just because, like I said, like I do like season 1. Season 1 is not bad in my opinion. But season 2 it was definitely a big step up and a change in the right direction, I think. So I've JJK overall 9. I think it's the best battle shown in New Gen that's out there. I think it spanks everything I've seen in Demon Slayer. Spanks My Hero. I'm trying to think of other ones. Some people consider like Black Clover New Gen. That's definitely New Gen, but 9 best battle shown for sure.